Here is a 2023 Toyota Sequoia TRD Pro in midnight black metal. Last year we got the increase of around 13% more horsepower, over 31% more torque, over 26% more payload. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. What does the TRD bring? Well, it has its own unique grille. We get the amber lights, sequential LED turn signals, headlights, daytime runnings, fog lights, and a TRD light bar. And this is ready to go off-roading. Why do I say that? Because we have a 1/4 aluminum skid plates from TRD, internal valve shocks, which gives us an increase in clearance to over 9 inches, which is the best for all of the Sequoias. The sides flare out. You get a pattern texture with the amber lights because of the width of the exterior. TRD Pro badging on the hood that house this iForce Max twin turbo V6, producing 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, achieving 19 mpgs for the city, 22 mpgs for the highway. And when we're talking about towing, you have over 9,500 pounds. Payload, you have over 1,700 pounds. Now, when you go TRD, this is a 4-wheel drive. So if you drop to a 2-wheel drive variant, you will get that max towing and payload. TRD gets its exclusive BBS forged 18-inch matte black wheels, all-terrain tires, which is good for rock crawling because let's face it, this is not just a luxury variant. This is an SUV that you should take onto the trail, not only because of the standard selectable locking rear differential, the multi-terrain with the crawl control and downhill assist control, but even with the standard independent front suspension, that new rack-mounted electric power steering that's going to help improve the steering feel for your daily use with the multi-link rear suspension for a more smooth drive, and you have an available load leveling rear height control air suspension and adaptive variable suspension. And if you tick the box for the Ford, you go to the Timberline, that's going to be the best in class for ground clearance. But when you're considering the packages that you're getting with this turbocharged hybrid engine, most of the variants are starting to go this route, whereas Toyota already has gone there and increased everything from the prior gen. This year, the difference that we're getting is on the limited trim, you have a midnight edition that you can tick, which will blacken out everything. You'll get TRD wheels. You can also get a TRD off-road package for the platinum tier. So I like that you have the option capabilities and you don't have to necessarily go to this level, but this is going to be a little bit more unique. Front and rear parking sensors, a 360-degree reverse camera with bird's eye view, plus the digital rear view mirror, LED taillights, and of course, a power liftgate. It goes into 11.5 cubic feet. But you can move these forward, and this is going to extend the cargo capacity to 22.3 cubic feet. Plus we have these levels on all sides, which when you have the floor that moves up, it's nice because it's going to make it a flat floor. You just fold this out here to cover up those rails, and you can do it for each level. You can use this area here because you have the tray already lined up. And I moved it back so that way you can see you'll have a wall. So it is nice that they give you 3 different levels. It's the only SUV of its kind that gives you this with a 12-volt charger. And you can electronically split the rear bench in the back at a 60-40 split, increasing cargo to 49 cubic feet. And fold down the captain chairs to max it at 86.9 cubic feet. But we need to go inside, start up this hybrid max so you could hear that exhaust note. 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver and passenger, heated, ventilated TRD Pro, memory for the driver. Headroom and legroom. Stainless steel pedals come for the TRD. The Heritage Toyota badging On the passenger side, 14 speakers through JBL sound system, including an amplifier and subwoofer, a storage with a 12-volt digital rear view mirror, moonroof, optional pano moonroof, and a 14-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse, and we have a reverse camera with full trajectory for the front and the rear. You can also change different layouts for the camera, plus taking on and off those lines. And you have a lot of different camera angles, as you're noticing. And just simply push it back there. Plus, we have the bird's eye view. So you push this button right here, and now it will go all around the vehicle. You can pause it, and you can get it more close, where this is basically the interior of the vehicle. Going into dual climate control settings, QI wireless charger, and the key fob for the new Sequoia. Leather around the shifter that is unique to the TRD. As you see, the badging gloss black. Your four-wheel drive transfer case, driving modes, opens up for the cup holders, and you have a lot of different storage here. So you have here that can be opened to go into the first area, a little area here for some notes. You can open this up, and now you have a deep storage pocket with a change holder, USB ports, and we're going to show you the driving modes on the digital gauge cluster. You can change the configuration for turn-by-turn navigation and the sound system or any settings. And it's a leather-wrapped steering wheel, TRD spec, multi-function with the 12 o'clock. Here's for the TRD light bar. And the door panels will configure into the dashboard, very similar to the Tundra. So it has kind of like two armrests. It's going to be soft where it needs to be, 2 tiers of storage, and I like the contrast with the red, and you get the aluminum look that goes in between with a large storage pocket with about 2 beverage holders carved out. For the second row, I have it reclined. Headroom is great. With it not reclined, it's still not bad. It does contour inwards because of the air condition that is in the ceiling. Leg space is good, and that's in the position I would be sitting for the driver. Storage behind both passenger and driver seat. Third, climate control. 2 USB ports, a home plug, air vents, cup holders in the center, and because it's captain seats, this will adjust whenever you're rolling it back. The door panel gets the manual sunshades and the same segment that's in the front, so the 2 tiers for the armrests and 2 tiers of storage with about 2 bottle holders. Entering into the third row, simple enough, and it's large enough because it's over 9 inches of clearance. I'm going to use the running boards. Feet space is not going to be compromised too much in a regular seat position, and the same thing with the leg space, and you still have the pass-through here, cup holders on both sides, and a storage pocket that's on the passenger side with a USB. Headroom is going to be a little bit more tight, but these electronically will adjust, which will give you optimal headroom if you're over 6 foot tall, with a large window, and they didn't forget the sunshade here and the air vent here. Sliding into the center, headroom is still not bad. Leg space is still optimal because I can stretch it out. And because it's TRD, you get these weatherproof mats. So it makes it a little bit more optimal for somebody sitting here into the center or pretty much anywhere in the vehicle. 437 horsepower, 583 pound-feet of torque. Not really supposed to stop here, but I'm going to so you can see what I mean. Look at this. A nice exhaust note that filters in. The sound deadening is really good. The steering is pretty precise in the sense that it's not over the top with weight, considering you could do rock crawling with this vehicle. Brakes, not an issue. The width of the vehicle, it's wide. Doesn't feel, I'm not gonna lie, it does feel a lot wider, especially because of the air vents that are on the hood. But I like the dominant stance. It's longer, but you have plenty of power. It's sufficient for what you need for day in and day out. And that's gonna take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros, you get increased clearance, you get the skid plates underneath, you have the upgraded suspension, Overall, it's just a great package to have. If I was optioning the Platinum, I probably would tick the box for the TRD off-road, so I would have some of these capabilities. On the Con, you do lose around 500 pounds of towing when you go to a four-wheel drive variant. But the Pro, the V6 is sufficient with power, which makes it easy for that day in and day out use. Another pro is with Toyota. When you're coming to a slower speed, 360-degree camera comes on. And it makes it a little bit easier because it is a wide vehicle. That's why you have the amber lights on the side. So let's face it, sometimes you may need it so you don't want to curb the wheels. Even though these are all terrain tires, it's going to be a little bit harder to curb them, but still, if you were optioning a Platinum or a Capstone, that might be an issue. Kind of takes care of that. Another pro is you have the digital rear view mirror, which gives us 180 degrees vision. So when I'm thinking blind spots, don't worry. This is just the everyday drive. I'm not even giving it full performance or mashing the pedal. The big problem that I have though is once you start going this tier, you're talking over 80 grand. Turn radius is gonna be about 3 in a part lane. That time I gave it a little go. And the reason why I say that's a big problem for me is when I'm thinking about getting a large SUV. Typically, I'm trying to tick the box for luxury amenities first. I like that we have multiple amenities, meaning this is a multi-terrain vehicle, and the cargo is actually one of the best in the sense of versatility, having those trays, and you can open up the window. If you're tall, you don't have to open up the full tailgate. Because it's a twin turbo V6, I would like to see a V8 when I'm going into these pricing, because when I go GMC or Chevy, I'm getting an option for that. Or give me another engine option like a diesel to make it a little bit more in the sense of towing capacity, especially when I go TRD. And I guess that's really where the problem lies. It's not just the price, it's that when you're at TRD, this should be max towing over 9,500 pounds and max payload over 1,700 pounds. And I'm not trying to disqualify the TRD Pro because it is an excellent vehicle for on pavement and off. It's just when you can now option the TRD off-road package on the Platinum tier, it could be a few grand cheaper. So it is something they may have needed to think about reworking. The dashboard layout, I do like that we get the Heritage Toyota badging. It's kind of a grille design layout because you want this to be as unique as possible. So the Toyota Racing division went a little bit above and beyond because of all the different aesthetics you get. The two-tone color with the red and the black mixture, I like that too, because when I'm going to any of the competition, typically it's all dark colors or just bright colors. They don't have the sport feel as you can get in this. And if I tick the box for the Ford Timberline, I'm not getting that many badges. Yes, I'm getting some unique aesthetics and interior, but Toyota kind of goes a little bit more so than the competition. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Gettle Stadium Toyota for giving us this 2024 Toyota Sequoia TRD Pro for our car review.